The effect that it has on, weather's had on our cricketers, particularly Victorian and South Australian. I mean, what effect does it have on horses?
Well, it's changing race preparations, it's changing race results, Sandy. Is this on your first day down?
No, I would say it's the norm for Melbourne, but horses do basically get used to it down here. The Lee Freedman team, until yesterday, had been performing very... The mud of Melbourne, though, could be inconvenienced, and this could be apparent on Wednesday's
racing the Caulfield Stakes. What are your thoughts on the match race? I think the last one was, what, 1970, Big for Lou and Rain Lover, and Bart wants to do it again.
Yes, Bart does, and I say it was really old-timers' day at...
Come up towards the 500-metre mark where the leader now is Gathernow. Gathernow takes the lead by a length. The Mannerism running on. Dr. Grace can't go on at the moment. Fourth then Ramyar. They're followed by Sub-Zero Heroicity. Kinjatay dropping out of it. Castletown last as they come around the home turn. Gathernow is the leader. Mannerism's about 6 off the rail as they straighten up, and Gathernow is the leader. Mannerism down the outside. Ramyar's running a bit of a race, and further back is Heroicity, followed by Dr. Grace at the 200. Gathernow tackled by Ramyar, and deeper on the track is Mannerism, who's starting to paddle a bit, and here comes Heroicity. Heroicity finishing on strongly as they come to the 100. Ramyar and Castletown storming home down the outside. Ramyar, Castletown grabbing them. Castletown's come from last to win the Caulfield Stakes. From Heroicity, third home Ramyar.
Well, Castletown was up with a winning chance.
Well, he's got to have a winning chance, Keith, because the condition yesterday. I thought Mannerism was a shade disappointing. I realised...
Smith, he's won 224 cup races, 34 training premierships and 35 derbies. At Caulfield yesterday, he may have produced another Cup's hope.
We're still, it's Quarterban the leader. Quarterban in charge, a half-length Equidity, followed by Mr. Eurostar. At the head of the others, then over on the inside is Ali Boyle. Lane Shadow followed further back by Delmar. Ivory Way hard-ridden, notwithstanding, grooming the rails as they round the home turner. Quarterban tackled in earnest now by Equidity as they come round the turn and they straighten up. They're 2 lengths ahead of Ali Boyle. Lane Shadow. Mr. Eurostar followed further back by Delmar. Equidity on the outside coming at Quarterban, who's battling on courageously. Quarterban on the inside, Equidity. Equidity's got his head in front of Quarterban. With about 100 metres left to go. Equidity is clear of Quarterban. Ali Boy running on well, followed by Grooming. But it's Equidity in front, close to home. Quarterban kicking back. Equidity too strong. Equidity a half length to Quarterban. Ali Boy is third.
Well, with Tommy Smith and his great record, surprisingly, after the race, the horse he thought might win the Melbourne Cup was Tia Cowaneck, trained by his daughter, Gay Waterhouse. Let's have a look now at the Toorak handicap, and the conditions, weather-wise, at Caulfield had deteriorated.
Up towards the 700, a length and a half, ready to explode in the box seat, 2 lengths away, Soho Square. Then Purple Curse, followed by Mamselle Patu, and Just Tommy right around the outside, making ground, followed by Prince Illyri on the inside. Purple Curse is next there, followed by Citizen Infallible from a long way back. And further back then in the field, Excited Angel going forward. And Dark Star second last as they round the home turn. 400 metres left to go. Ready to Explode takes the lead in the Toorak and got away. Ready to Explode, 2.5 lengths clear of Jim's mate. Prince Illyri running on well down the inside, and further back than is starring from a long way back Mamselle Patu. Excited Angel deep on the track, followed then at the head of the others by Infallible, but Ready to Explode 6 lengths ahead of Prince Illyri with 100 to go. Excited Angel running on. Dark Czar from a long way back, but Ready to Explode will bolt in. Ready to Explode won the Toorak by 5 lengths. Excited Angel. Prince Illyri third.
Well, Ready to Explode, third in the Derby last year, but he hadn't fired a shot since. The race is often a good guide to the Caulfield Cup. Was yesterday's event a guide, Max?
I wouldn't think so, Keith, but there again, were any of the races yesterday a guide? All we can say is that similar conditions, you're looking for the old war horses. I thought Prince Salieri ran a good race. I'd like to see him get into the Caulfield Cup because of the George Hanlon influence. He's a good, consistent horse, well down in the batting order, but if necessary, I'd like to see the VATC committee taking him up.
Yes, that's an interesting point. He's 34th on order of entry, but there are 13 doubtful runners ahead of Prince Illyri. George Hanlon, who Max mentioned, has had 3 runners-up in the Caulfield Cup without winning the race. Now it was the big test for the 3-year-olds, the Group 1 1,000 guineas.
And Bundy Lad's gone right around the outside to hit the front as they come up towards the home turn. Bundy Lad the leader. A length let him ride. Half a length further back Ken Fair. Just one right around them, joining in now Palace Symphony from a long way back. And Palace Rain is getting a run on the inside. Captive Edition back behind them. They're followed by Shoeshine Henry, and further back in the field of Awesome Force as they make the home turn. Bundy Lad is the leader, tackled over on the outside by Palace Symphony and Palace Rain, and Just One. And over on the rails, let him ride, followed by Shoeshine Henry and Captive Edition. But the leader, Palace Palace Symphony in front, tackled by Palace Rain. Palace Rain the outside. Palace Symphony are fighting it out. They're locked together from Shoeshine Henry and Captive Edition coming home well from a long way back. Palace Rain hit the front in the Guineas, and Palace Rain will go on and score. Palace Rain will come home to win it. Palace Rain by a length and a half. Second home in the event would be Palace Symphony. Shoeshine Henry may have just got third ahead of Captive Edition.
Yes, Palace right there, do you think, Max?
I would say on a heavy track, yes, Sandy, because that horse yesterday showed that he can go through the mud. Under normal circumstances, though, I don't think the form is there to say he would trouble the Sydney Colts Coronation Day in Muirfield Village. After all, Shoeshine Henry may have been a distant third, was nearly decked on the turn. I'm sure if he hadn't have struck that interference, he would have been in the finish. And Shoeshine Henry, I can assure you, isn't a patch on the others on good tracks.
Keith, let's go back to last week.
Morning that Surface Paradise won't be back to defend his title. He has heart strain and will not come to Australia this spring. But the nominal favourite for the Cox Plate is the Turnbull Stakes winner Naturalism. And this is the way he earned it at Flemington last Saturday.
My Brilliant Star is fourth on the inside of Naturalism, a length and a half lead. Dancer London Bridge. Then Valdano, two further back in the field is on the outside, Star of the Realm, and then followed further back when they turn for home by Mr. Eurostar. Kings are busy at work on the favourite back in the field at the moment, Star of the Realm, when they turn for home, Heroicity and Ram Yar from further out. Naturalism starting to come at them from My Eagle Eye. Two further back, London Bridge, Star of the Realm off on the outside, about 4 lengths off them as Naturalism has bounded away. Naturalism set up a break now on Heroicity. 3 further back, London Bridge, My Eagle Eye. Star of the Realm can't get up from there, but he is home, Naturalism. 4 in front. London Bridge followed by Heroicity and Mr. Eurostar, but a brilliant win to Naturalism by 3 lengths. London Bridge is second. Third in the photo may be Mr. Eurostar.
Yes, Naturalism, the Cox Plate nominal favourite, and that was the reason why. Let's have a look now at the latest markets for, firstly, the Caulfield Cup. Viander Cross, the favourite. Castletown, yesterday's winner, finished nearly 3 lengths behind Viander Cross at their last meeting, but Castletown now on the second line of betting with Royal Magic. So the top trio are all New Zealanders, then Herosity, Sub-Zero, and out to double figures.
Who do you fancy?
At this stage, Viander Cross, Sandy, the favourite, but that is not a committed selection.
Max?
You love a favourite. Tiakau Nick at 12 to 1 at this stage, but that's not a committed selection either. But this is...
First of all, let's have a look at the Melbourne Cup, Max. I know you want to add to his collection. Right. Castletown and Viander Cross at 5s.
And Sub-Zero, he'll be better suited under handicap conditions. He's on the second line ahead of Star of the Realm. So the betting really is similar in both cups. Now,
Keith, I know you started something months ago, but Max, what have you got this time?
Well, due to Keith's research in this area, the AJC have sent me down a special tie. It's the GG spot tie.
Max, I'm almost lost for words, but I'm not a mean man, as you've suggested, and other Sydney people have. There's a VATC tie to get you through the Spring Carnival as well.
Got a bit of dash too.
And today's turf tie, Sandy, is the VATC tie. 2 days to go, 1,000 Guineas Day on Wednesday, and next Saturday is Caulfield Cup Day.
Could we take a break, please?
Sure.
Any ties, just send them in to Keith or Max. Back shot.
Dawn, and it's another day at the office at Sydney's Warwick Farm Racecourse. The serenity of the early morning disturbed by the thunder of hoofbeats as the horses, riders, strappers and trainers begin track work. Keeping a watchful eye on the proceedings, Clary Connors, a self-confessed battler that somehow finds just the right touch and the right horse to win the big races.
Terse starting to wind up at the head of the others. Big Dreams and Bold Promise not doing enough. Bionnet still in front. Canonise and Terse. Big Dreams can't reach them. Bionnet tackled by Terse and Canonise. It's another one for Shane Dye. Terse wins the slipper.
The fairy tale began last year when a colt by the name of Terse catapulted Clary into the limelight. The 2-year-old winning the sire's produce, the Champagne Stakes, and of course, the Golden Slipper. Winning the Grand Slam was a great achievement for Clary, and the day he won the slipper will live long in his memories.
Well, Tim, it was so hard to explain. You just tingle with excitement. something we'd sort of hoped and planned for 12 months with the horse. And you sort of just can't believe it happened. It's just the buzz of it all, and well, it's just, you know, you can't explain it. It's a feeling like you've never had before, honestly. It's unbelievable, it was.
Sadly, just a few months after winning the Triple Crown, Connors made the difficult decision to retire the colt after a bleeding attack. But then along came Burst, a filly that surprised Connors with her determination to win.
Burst is about to run into third place, and she's finishing on gamely. So is Ken Fair. Clan O'Sullivan is shortening stride. Loving Cup, and Burst down the outside is rocketing to the line. Burst has swamped Clan O'Sullivan. 4 straight for Shane Dye.
For Clary Connors, the emotion of winning 2 successive Golden Slippers was overwhelming. The victory surpassing anything he'd felt before in his many years of racing.
So the fairy tale come true? It is. You know, it's when you dream of the things, you get up every morning for 4:30 the last 40, 30 years doing these things. You know what it's like. When we won the second time was just going to live the legs like jelly. I just couldn't believe it. We just all fancy winning 2 in a row. And so it was just it was a different feeling altogether.
Dye is sitting quietly on Burst. He had the best look back you've ever seen to see where King Marauding is, and now he goes for home. And Burst got about a half length on Commissar, who's boxing on strongly. 2 lengths away is King Marauding and Merry Shade. He's got to go for Burst. Commissar is coming again on the inside. Burst about a neck in front. Commissar trying his heart out, but the filly's too good, and she got away right on the line to win at a half length to Commissar. But
9 days later, Clary was celebrating again. Burst winning the second leg of the Triple Crown, a sire's produce, leaving just the Champagne Stakes to complete the treble. It was a race the filly was expected to easily win, but as the field turned for home, Clary had to suppress his nerves as Burst trailed at the back of the pack.
And Burst is last as they come over the rise. Dye's hard at work on the filly. She's trying to see some daylight. He's about to push into the clear. He's out now on Burst as they come to the 200 mark. Imposing Bull, Yachty, never forget. Burst on the outsiders coming out after them. Yachty still in front. Burst on the extreme outside. Imposing Bull in the centre. It's Yachty and Burst. They're coming to the line absolutely locked together, and it's close right on the line. There's nothing in it. Burst or Yachty in a very tight one in the Champagne.
Clary, how nerve-wracking was that?
Well, I thought she got beat, you know. You don't have a second chance, do you? There's only one chance at it. And I thought she got beat. I'm sure 8 out of 10 people here would have thought she got beat too. The only thing, they got the outside angle at here at Randwick, and, you know, it sort of helps a little bit probably. But anyhow, she's won.
How does it feel creating history?
Well, it's great. Super, you know, just something to try, and she's done it.
So where to from here?
Spell.
What about you? How's you know?
Yeah, I need to spell bad.
Into the straight, skating just led Burst on the outside. Mahia 3 deep is balanced up by Quinton as they turn for home.
After the winter spell, and with his nerves calmed again, Clary is set to challenge the big names yet again. His spring campaign getting off to a great start with a win to Burst in the T-Rose Stakes at Rosehill last month.
Burst and skating having a titanic tussle in the T-Rose Stakes. Burst has the head in front, and Burst fell in to beat skating about a long head.
The good news looks set to continue for Clary, a 3-year-old gelding by the name of Air Seattle, looking to put the name Connors in the winner's circle yet again. In fact, Connors is so impressed with the horse that he's hoping to take him down to Melbourne, where hopefully he can win the big bucks and enhance Clary's reputation.
Straightening up now, and Air Seattle on the outside has exploded to the front. Air Seattle shot clear coming to the 200 mark over Diamond Storm. Then He's Classic followed by Smiling Assassin. Play or Pay is a mile back as they race inside the 200 mark, and Air Seattle is well clear. He's Classic has run into second place, but it's all Air Seattle. He's got the Gloaming Stakes well and truly won, and Air Seattle trotted in. Won by a big margin, I think, to less.
But amazingly, despite Clary's success on the track, the battling trainer has failed to attract the attention of prospective owners, something he finds very frustrating.
Yeah, well, Tim, I have, funny, since Burst won the slipper, that I've got more new owners than I did with Terse. But I think there's a stigma on Warwick Farm. People like horses trained in the city. It's too far for them to come out to Warwick Farm. And our facilities here are better than anywhere else in Sydney at the moment. They're great. But anyhow, I'm happy going along. I'm packing along. I'm enjoying it, having a good time and training winners.
So despite failing to attract the accolades and business he deserves, Clary is undeterred, determined to keep on training, hopefully turning out more winners and staying with the sport he loves.
Tim Wharton and the amazing story of Clary Connors. Good to see a down-to-earth bloke like that doing so well. Well, from a classical sport to a modern sport, and that's the sport of mountain biking. It's relatively new here to Australia, but the Americans who invented it have been competing now for over 15 years.